Today we're going to be looking at some of the older Hasbro figures from Marvel Legends and what Jordan and I would like to see updated. So make sure you stick around because we are also going to be doing a giveaway in this video. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota, here with my co-host, Jordan. And like I said, today we're going to be talking about some of those older figures from Hasbro that we want to see updated. Now, we do a lot of those wish list type of things of like maybe brand new characters or kind of speculating. This is kind of our wish list of Hasbro doesn't even have to give us a new figure. We just want an update of an old figure. There's actually kind of a lot that I think could be updated, but we tried to whittle it down to 5. And actually, Jordan, well, I was going to say I don't have any runner-ups, but I'm probably going to mention some others.
You're going to throw in at least 3 extras. Don't
don't
lie to me or anyone listening to this right now.
Yeah, you're totally right.
But that's okay. I think I narrowed mine down pretty concisely to 5, though.
Okay, yeah, I did too. And like I said, we're going to be doing a giveaway, and that is thanks to our sponsors at Capsule. We're going to be giving away this Alex Ross Emma Frost cover, and then it's going to come with the clear version of a comic capsule.
That's right. We will be doing a couple giveaways with these comic capsules, which is a product that I'm pretty excited about, Dakota. They are essentially a way to protect your comics and also allow you to still be displaying them. So they have a flip top cover so you can switch out multiple comics. Personally, for me, I don't have a ton of comics that I would want to get graded. And even if I did, sometimes when I'm doing displays, I like to swap things out. So with comic capsules, you can take them out, you can switch in, put in other covers, all that kind of stuff. They also have UV protection, which I think is a nice feature for me living in an apartment. I unfortunately do not have my own layer where I can display all my books. So unfortunately, my books are still exposed to sunlight, as am I. However, comic capsules can protect you from that, which I think is pretty cool, and make sure your comics aren't getting sun damaged. The other feature that I think is nice is the wall mount. So you can hang it on the wall. You can put it in your displays. They also fit in long boxes, comic book boxes. So you can slide them in there, move them around. They're not as clunky as some of the other bigger protectors out there. And then finally, I like that they have the relief corners. So if they get knocked over, if they fall, you're not going to get those corners damaged. Your comics will still be in a safe condition. And then if you're just needing to transport them in general, maybe going to a Comic-Con, getting something signed, you could use them for something like that. So there's quite a few books that I think I would like to get put in those. But fortunately for everybody out there, you will have the chance to get some of these for free with a comic.
Now, in order to enter this giveaway, I think it'd be a little too obvious if we said to enter what figures you want updated, because everybody's going to do that. You got to do something a little different. I think in honor of Emma Frost here, we should comment what you think is the ugliest Marvel Legend of all time.
Oh.
Because, that Emma Frost from, was that the Blob Wave? Or no, that was Annihilus.
It's not a great figure.
So, in honor of Emma Frost, and she's luckily been updated a few times, so I think she still is up there, and at least in the top 3 of ugliest figures. So, leave a comment down below of what you think is the ugliest Marvel Legend of all time. And remember, you also have to be subscribed, and then you can also check the details for, the full entry details. That was a lot of details, but here we go. Jordan, what is your first Marvel Legend that you would like updated? And this is only from Hasbro. We're not looking back at ToyBiz, so we can't say Blackheart and Vengeance, even though I think those would be cool. Only Hasbro.
One that I've been wanting for a while, Dakota, is a new Elsa Bloodstone, which I think would be very sweet to see Hasbro putting out a new one, not just because I don't want to pay for the old one, but I think they could do a much better job with the figure nowadays. So I'm hoping that one gets a redo. I have a little bit of hope for that with her showing up in Werewolf by Night, maybe coming in something sooner, but that would be one of my first picks that I thought of as an updated Hasbro figure.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. It's not super old or super bad, but I think especially now with the newer bodies they have, I think they could do a lot better job. And I feel I don't know if I would hope she comes in kind of like a Build-A-Figure wave, kind of like the Mindless one, because that one had tons of accessories. So then you could get her with multiple weapons, maybe some stakes, kind of like Blade came with. Give her another shotgun, rifle. I don't know. She could be fun. Maybe a crossbow. I don't think we have a crossbow in Marvel Legends, do we? I
You
don't
know,
think
I'm
so.
going to say that Baron Mordo from Doctor Strange 2
Oh,
did have one, Dakota.
you're right. Why have we not seen, like, we could use that. Just
Right.
give it a
But
little bit
yeah, I'd
different.
love to see Elsa Bloodstone getting a crossbow. So I think that's where they could do really well, is giving you more accessories. But then I think articulation could be improved too. But yeah, that's my pick.
All right.
What about you?
I'm going to stick with a female figure also, and this one is going to be Danger. So we're kind of putting together the Astonishing X-Men team. We've gotten Cyclops, Emma Frost, and now Wolverine is on his way. I'm pretty sure they've said they're going to be completing that team before too long. I hope it's before too long anyway. But then kind of adjacent to that team, I think that was the first time Danger had ever appeared, and I thought she was a super cool character. I've never had that older figure. I don't know how in all of my lots it never has come across my collection. Have you ever had that one?
I don't think so. Is it worth much, or do you know?
I
I don't really see it
haven't
for sale
looked.
often, so I'm not
Right.
really sure.
Yeah, kind of a little bit more rare, but I don't think it's super sought after. Maybe it's going to be a little bit more sought after now that these other ones are coming. Maybe I should look it up. Anyway, I would like that one updated because that was like super early Hasbro, like one of their first waves. So obviously they've got a lot better technology now. You could, I don't know, hopefully update those wings. I don't know if she would even come with the wings, honestly. I think that was kind of super lucky that she came with the wings back then.
Right.
And it's not like, that's not like essential to her character. So that's why I think they would probably drop those. But you could give her like a alternate arm, kind of like a cannon effect, maybe like a alternate head that's a little bit like short
Battle
circuiting.
damage head?
Yeah,
Yeah.
battle damage head. I know we want those on our Spider-Mans and Wolverines, so maybe Danger will be the first.
Maybe.
But yeah, I think she's one that I would love to see updated.
Yeah, I think that's, and who knows? I mean, I've heard whispers of her showing up in some projects showing up, which I could see if MCU wanted to do something a little different. That's definitely a different X-Men villain that you could see coming in, whether it's that or animation or whatever. So I'm going to stick with early Hasbro, and I'm going to say I would like to see an updated Green Scar. I remember you had this one back in the day, Dakota.
Oh yeah,
and
I still do.
I love that storyline, and I remember reading that and that being the figure. He was never in my collection. Personally, I didn't love that figure even back then. However, I think with today's technology, they could do some cool updates. Because wasn't it the variant that had like a silver sleeve arm?
Yeah.
Like in the books?
Yep.
Well, in some of the books he did have those. I think that was more later ones. But I think they could give him some, like using those newer Hulk sculpts that I think are a lot more, of course, articulated than those older Hasbro ones, but still give them like the helmet and the shield and the axe and spear, or, you know, whatever weapons you want to give them. My dream, Dakota, would be a Green Scar Silver Savage 2-pack. I doubt I'm going to get that. However, I would snag that up right away. And then at that point, I'm going to need the rest of the Warbound from that storyline. So maybe I'll just get a 6-pack.
I was going to say that would be a cool 6-pack,
but I doubt it.
Yeah, I had thought about putting Silver Savage on my list because I think it was when we were at New York Comic Con, I saw somebody selling it, and it was at a decent price, but I think maybe it wasn't complete. And I was just like, ooh, he doesn't really look like what I would want him to look like. So I passed on him. So I was thinking we were going to get a new updated, like, Renew Your Vows body Silver Surfer, but since they just put out the Walgreens one, or I guess it's not really Walgreens anymore, but I think it's going to be a while until we see another Silver Surfer. So maybe Silver Savage would be a good interim. The next one I'm going to go with is, there's some recent figures of him, but I would like a kid version of Miles Morales. And we had one in the Space Venom wave, and we've both had that. That one used to be super like expensive on the secondary market, and it's dropped quite a bit now. I have it. I think I have it right now. I don't think I've sold it yet, but it just doesn't do it for me. It's I don't know what it is, but you've had it and you've kind of agreed too, where it's kind of like, something's off here. It just doesn't.
Yeah, at least for sure when it was going real high, I couldn't keep it. If it was real cheap, maybe it'd be different. But yeah, I think they could definitely do an improved comic. You're kind of like a Comic Miles, right? Because
Right. Yep.
yeah, I liked the Gamerverse ones, but it would be
Yeah.
cool to see them do a Comic Miles that's updated and not like a Into the Spider Verse version, more of
Right.
just a comic style. So
Yeah.
I'd go
Exactly.
for that.
Because I think they could do a little bit better articulation. I don't know if it's like the ab crunch. I'd have to like play around with it again because I can't remember what it was that I was. Because I was like, oh, maybe I'll put together a champions team. I grabbed Ms. Marvel. You had a Nova for sale. I was maybe going to grab, and I was like, I think they could do better. And Miles is a pretty popular character where it can't be too long until we get another Miles. So
Very nice. Well, my next one is going to be another earlier Hasbro, and that is going to be Mole Man. You know, Dakota, I've talked about Mole Man for a little bit, wanting an update for that. I have a decent amount of hope that that one's coming. I know we've speculated on it before.
yeah,
That old one, I mean, I think it would do the trick if you had it,
mm-hmm.
because you don't necessarily need Mole Man, like super articulated, of course, but I think they could do new sculpting, give them at least some articulation. I mean, that old one is kind of
Right.
like just a brick.
5
Which,
point.
right, yeah. So I think they could do a little bit more, and then, as we've talked before, you know, throw in some moloids or some effects or, you know, different things like that. I think they could make a pretty cool release with an updated Mole Man, and I would definitely go for that.
For sure. And I think I kind of wonder now, like, would they do a Mole Man with the giant mole monster as a HasLab? I kind of
I don't know
doubt
about
it.
that.
Yeah. I don't know. It would be cool because I would love to have that like comic displayed with my Fantastic Four fighting him, but I think that's pretty slim
Mm-hmm.
chance. I think HasLabs would have to really take off for that to be a possibility. Um,
Yeah.
Another one, back to, I think all of the rest of mine are going to be early Hasbro. They're all just, out of date. They need it updated. We get an Iron Man, it seems, in every wave ever. So I think it's time that we update the Ultimate Iron Man because that
Mm-hmm.
one was kind of one of the last ones I got as we were collecting as kids. And I was a
Mm-hmm.
big fan of it. I liked the kind of
Yeah.
like hand cannons on his like wrist gauntlets. I liked that he
Mm-hmm.
had the removable helmet. I know you always make fun of any character that has a removable helmet because they have a tiny head. I thought it was cool.
I liked the I that's not everyone. It was mainly just Zorn had like a comically tiny head for some reason. I
Yeah.
think
Well,
that
you also made fun of the Hulkbuster,
I
which
don't
that one,
remember
to
that.
be fair, that does have a tiny Tony Stark head in there. But
Maybe I just like I
anyway,
remember the old Magneto from ToyBiz I thought was sweet with his removable
yeah,
helmet. So
true. Okay.
don't put those words in my mouth, dude.
What about Hulk? You were just talking
No.
about the Green Scar Hulk. He's got a tiny head.
He had like a little prune face though. That was mainly the sculpt.
Oh, okay.
I think Ultimate Iron Man would be cool. I think
Yeah.
getting it. I mean, I remember the old one had that kind of like '90s style like gloss
Yeah.
paint stuff on it,
He was
which I
like
think
super
they would
shiny.
probably. It was, which I don't know if they would
No, I
do
don't think
that,
so.
but they would probably make it a little more updated. But I think
hmm
with today's articulation, that would be cool
hmm
to see. And I always thought that was a cool, unique look for him, and I like those
Yeah.
stories.
I'd love
So
to
I
put
could see
together
that
like
coming.
the Ultimates team because we've
Mm-hmm.
got the Ultimate Cap, which that's one character, but
Mm-hmm.
starting somewhere.
We need the rest. And my next one is going to be not too long ago Hasbro, but it's going to be Captain Marvel, but the Marvel.
Mm,
Now, I've talked before about this one, Dakota. I was excited for it, and it's kind of junky for me.
yeah.
I've I just I think if they it'd be very simple, just get the newer more articulated bodies, put him
hmm
on there. You don't really even need much sculpting. He's just kind of a suit.
Yeah.
I mean, you need his bands and his head, but that's about it. The old one just really doesn't cut it. I think he could definitely use an improvement, and I think he could even give him some cool effects. That would be kind of cool, and I would love to have him in my collection. So that would be one that I'd get right away. A newer Captain
hmm
Marvel.
Yeah. And that'd be super easy to put on the Vulcan body. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it could be super plain. Just slap some paint, a few hardly sculpted things, and yeah, you're set. The next one I would want, it's going to be a little bit more sculpting than your Marvel. I would like that
Mm-hmm.
first Black Knight that we had got updated because there was the one
Mm.
in the was it the Call Obsidian wave, I think,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
then We just got the new 2-pack with Cersei. I don't trust that body mold. I had
You don't
one,
like
and
the
it's
leg exploding action?
the leg snapping off happened to me, and that's the last Black Knight I'm gonna get from that body because I don't want to risk my action figures breaking, because I would assume as it
You've
gets
been hurt
older,
too many times by that
it's gotten
sculpt.
me once, and I won't be got again. But I still have that first one, and I think that one is really cool. I like that look. The shield, sword, armor, helmet.
Yeah.
That's my go-to. So give me an update on that, because he's a little bit too skinny right now. Like, he works maybe like in the background or something.
Yeah.
But the articulation is also just not really up to today's standards. So definitely update that. I don't know. That one's probably my least likely on my list, just because it'd be too much new tooling, and they've had other ones since then. But it's one I'd like.
Yeah. I think a Black Knight would be cool. I'd honestly like to have one of those as well. I'm going to do a runner-up, and then it kind of ties into my last one.
Okay.
So my runner-up, Dakota, would be that first appearance Captain America. Remember, we got a Hasbro of that, where it's more like just kind of the top little like cowl thing, but it's not connected.
Right.
He's just got the neck and then the triangular shield. I definitely, Hasbro, if you're listening, don't want him with that darn shield clip. So please don't give him that when I get him. But I would like to see an update of that. And you know what I know, Dakota? I would love for that to come in a 2-pack with an updated Bucky. I really want an updated Bucky. I'm hoping still for my Invaders 5-pack that I dreamed up. But I would even take a single release Bucky or a 2-pack with the Captain America would be really sweet. Yeah, I've tried to have that Hasbro one. I think I even looked at it. I don't even know if I bought it, but I saw it in person somewhere, kind of similar to your Silver Savage, and I was like, it just won't quite cut it. So I think we're overdue for one of those, and I feel like that would be a pretty popular figure for a lot of people.
For sure. Yeah, I think there's tons of collectors that want that. There's a lot of people that want those like OG looks, and that's probably at the top of a lot of people's list. I'll get you with a runner-up. It doesn't have anything to do with my next one, but it has to do with my Miles. Back to a Spider-Man.
Okay.
I think we need the white and black version of the Future Foundation Spider-Man. Haven't read anything with him in it, but we got that like flipped version, the black with the white. I didn't really love that one too much. And then I think the other one came out in the Arnim Zola wave or something old like that. So pretty old, out of date. Definitely just throw it on the Renew Your Vows body. And that would be probably my main Spider-Man that I would want, like as just like a Peter Parker Spider-Man. But my last pick, that's my official pick and not a runner-up, you've already mentioned it, and that's Zorn. That was one of my favorites when we were kids. Even though you incessantly made fun of his head, I still thought he was awesome. Whether it's,
dude.
it could come with a alternate Magneto head, because, we don't want to put a helmet on there, it's going to be too small. But I almost, more than a Magneto head, because, there are already Magneto heads out there, I would rather see like a normal Zorn head and then like a power effect, like eyes kind of blue glowing, or, just kind of
some like energy coming out of him or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I think that would be pretty cool. You could give him like I would want like expressive open hands. I would want fists, so that you can do kind of like blue energy fists. But yeah, I'd want that same costume probably, because I know he has some different costumes, and he kind of has like the monk look for a while when he's a pacifist. Kind of like that like X-Men uniform, like the open jacket with the chains. Big fan. So hopefully we get that one. I don't know how likely that is. I don't know. At least in my comics right now, he's at least in them. I think he just exploded, actually. That was 2018, so who knows? He could be back by now.
He's probably back.
Probably. X-Men never stay down.
That's true.
So that is going to wrap it up for our list of Hasbro figures that we want updated. Remember to enter the giveaway. To do that, subscribe. Leave a comment down below of what you think the ugliest Marvel Legend ever made was. And then stay tuned for other giveaways, especially on the Strong Collector Comics channel. Go over there, subscribe, check out those giveaways. And until next time, stay strong.